preparations go, in a way for me now, it's always, what am I playing in 2 days or 3 days? But at the same time, I'm thinking about, this new thing that I'm adding for January and March, etc. So I find that's actually one of the biggest challenges of my life right now, is to be able to sort of perform so much and at the same time make sure that what I do in 6 months' time is going to be up to my standard, so to say. But I mean, it can involve, reading about music. It can involve a lot of looking at the score and also forgetting about the score, honoring everything that the composer has written in the music, and at the same time, feel free to meet that composer somewhere midway. I think, an interpretation is always a meeting, between the composer and the performer. I love to also have a direct contact with the people writing the music, and that's been going on, for 10 years, basically. I've premiered 5 or I think actually 6 concertos now. I worked with Icelandic composers, but also people from outside of Iceland, like Philip Glass recently, and Mark Simpson, from the UK, etc. And I think, they have one thing in common, composers, as different as they are, really, and that is they are all extraordinarily open and experimental in the way they approach music. So there is not one way with music. Music is, in a way, bigger than any individual, and all the people I've been fortunate to work with have sort of shared that stance. So in a way, it's always been very refreshing, because when you actually work with the dead composers, when you have the score of the Goldberg Variations or the Beethoven sonatas, what you see on the printed page can seem sort of sacred, and in a way it is, of course. But at the same time, it can seem sort of set in stone, and it is not set in stone. And if we think about, the people of tonight's program, at least 2 of them were history's probably on top 5 of greatest improvisers. Johann Sebastian Bach probably coming number 1, and Chopin up there somewhere. And I don't believe they ever really played their music twice the same. And you can use Bach as a yardstick in your own development, whether it's pianistic development or just musical, intellectual, whatever development you're talking about. So I use him like that, and I listen to my old recordings of Bach, and I listen to my recordings of him now, and that's a mixed bag of emotions, to go and listen to how I played Bach when I was 24, for instance. I like it and I hate it, it's interesting. It shows you where you are in your musical sort of development very much. I hope I won't be as harsh to myself in 7 years as I am to my 24-year-old, but but you never know. But one thing is for certain: I will play it differently in 7 years for sure. And I might hate what I'm doing now. I can't say. There's no doubt in my mind that, if Bach would be here today and he would see this, wonderful black horse, on the stage, he would absolutely love it. I think he would go crazy with it. That doesn't mean that he would necessarily stop writing for the harpsichord, but I don't think he would say no to the piano either. And I do think, the music transcends one person, and it transcends any one instrument. I have this condition called synesthesia, so I associate colors with pitch. It's a bit insane. I mean, maybe some of you have heard about it, but I have this thing. When I was like 5 or 6, I have perfect pitch or absolute hearing. So when I would, think about F minor, that would be blue for me. A major would be yellow. B major is purple, etc.
Is that why we have the blue suit tonight?
Maybe. But I don't dress according to my my keys, actually. But it happens tonight. Yeah. I've been watching an incredible series on Netflix, which is the most ridiculous series I ever watched. It's called BoJack Horseman. It's unbelievable. The first 5 episodes are completely ridiculous and horrible, and you just don't know why you're wasting your time. And then toward the 3rd and 4th season, it's absolute genius. So that really has influenced the way I see society now. It's really, it's a weird series. As a cartoon, as a matter of fact, cartoon for adults. No, but to be honest with you, what inspires me is not really BoJack Horseman, but rather the people I meet, the artists I work with, the orchestras I get to play with, the audience I get to play for, I would say, the concerts I play. Each one adds something to my life, and I try to not repeat myself too much, on my travels or in my concerts.